so cool. Snap, it's so good.
It's better.
It's good for you.
It's good. It's good.
That works for you.
It's my brand.
It's on.
it's my brand.
It's on
now.
brand.
That's what we're doing.
I'm going to take these off.
You should.
I know, because you don't like shoes in the house.
I know mine.
You don't like them.
I don't really care.
It's not your preference.
Well, I don't wear shoes in the house, but I don't mind.
And you make your kids put sandals on.
Well, they're children. They're always getting into dirty things.
That I understand.
Yes. Welcome. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Joe. Hi, Builder Russ.
That's John.
Mr. John. It's John.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe. A Wild Yammy is here.
Welcome,
Yummy.
everyone.
Mukelch.
Sure.
Zardaz.
Yes. All of our buddies are here.
It's interesting that they're doing that thing with new. I haven't.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's new that it's doing that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Giovanni was here for a brief moment.
But that was earlier.
Joe Vexani.
Maybe she popped in. Oh no, that is too. Yeah, I don't know why that. I don't know why.
Honestly, Warhammer Day is the best.
It's a pretty good day.
Only second to Catterday.
Yes. Catterdays are good too.
Today was Pie Day.
Pie Day.
There is pie.
There are pies.
Oh my goodness.
There are always pies at Scott's
but
house.
I think you're gonna like this one.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the pies. So it's Saturday. It is Warhammer. Today is actually a big day for Warhammer because a bunch of stuff that we've been talking about is available right now for pre-order. A ton of it has sold out, depending on where you are and what country you're in. So hopefully, if you wanted any of the things that are on sale or on pre-order today, you've already talked with the local store. You've already been online to reserve it because it's things are going fast.
Whoa.
Yes, because it's like the one time of year where you can definitely get a deal on some things.
Because
which
Black
is
Friday.
Very rare. Yeah, well, it's their.
Hi, Emily. Thank you. I like it too. We need to wash it one more time. She's a little dirty. Oh, no one knows that. No one needed to know that.
There's no. It's not like scratching.
Stink meter.
Smell-o-vision.
You know what though? That's the benefit of the first post hair coloring. It just smells like hair coloring for a couple days.
That makes sense.
It's like there's no problem.
No problem. I need to color my hair one day. I've never done it.
You should do it.
I should.
We could do it on stream at my house.
Okay, cool.
Would you be interested?
Yeah, why not?
Burn your scalp.
Does it hurt?
It's a sensation, to be sure.
Okay.
I'll look up specifically how to bleach.
Thank you for the raid. Hair. Whoa, 7 people. Thank you so much.
Mr. John.
Thank you. Welcome, Raiders.
Thank you, Raiders.
I don't have a command for welcoming Raiders. I should make one of those. But thank you so much. Welcome. I'm Scott. This is Jessica.
Hi. Welcome. We have Justice Van.
Cool.
Athau. Athau.
Athau.
Sure. I love it. I love reading new names incorrectly. Panda Madness. We love our pandas.
We have several pandas.
That's close enough. Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Well, here's the thing. I definitely want to get your names right.
Sure.
I definitely won't. I do want you to be I couldn't do Phoenix. It was phonetics.
Some names are tough to.
It's not my forte. Let's put it that way. I became dyslexic as you.
Okay, it happens.
Or I uncovered my. Would you say I have ADD?
Is it a spectrum? Is ADD a spectrum? I assume it is.
There's ADD and ADHD.
Okay.
I don't think I have it.
Okay.
But I was curious.
Well, like I said, if it's a spectrum, then I would say that you might be right on the journey.
That's fair.
But, you know,
no,
we probably are all somewhere on the spectrum.
I love deterring you. It's my favorite thing. So you get a fresh version of that.
Everybody knows, even on days when I just have a very specific, narrow topic to talk about, I go off on a million digressions.
It's different, though, than if it was like tangential versus shock therapy. So, like, my friend Elliot described someone as a force of nature, and I was like, I am. He goes, no, you are when you stream, not in real life. And I didn't understand force of nature means I'm going to do whatever no matter what circumstance. And now I understand that.
That is true.
Yeah. You love tangents? Well, The tangent queen is here. The tributary
here
queen
we are, yeah.
is afoot.
The best stories come from tangents. That is very often true. Yes.
It's also reading a room too, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the story. You see someone's eyes light up when you're talking about a specific thing, and you go down that tributary.
Yes.
Carry on. It's your show.
No, you're right. Yeah, because if people's eyes are glazing over, then yeah, you can meander a little bit, or
ask them a question about themselves.
Sure. Yes.
How are you today?
I am just fine. We got to sleep in a little bit this morning. It was crazy.
How does that feel?
Sleeping in?
Is it because they slept out?
Glorious.
Is that because they went outside?
For some reason, Max went to bed. He went to bed a bit late last night, which usually means that he's going to get up earlier in the morning. But for some reason, he slept in till. He
just was a tired baby.
Yeah, I slept in pretty late this morning. It was great.
My sleep. So I had to wake up earlier than I ever have to today for a little appointment, and I set my alarm well in advance.
Yeah.
So that I was ready in a bit. The cats were fed, all these things. I was like ready to go at 9:30.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, my alarm's going off. It's 8:30. I could get all that done in 30 minutes. So I was going to set my timer again.
Right. It's the bargaining with yourself. Well, if I sleep a little bit, I just have to do a little faster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that, and I had my phone, and I was going to press the button for the end all the alarms that I had for this current time and set a new one. The next thing I knew, I was dropping the phone. I had fallen asleep. I hadn't even ended the alarms.
Oops.
It was such a weird thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that that's ever happened really.
You just fell asleep with the phone in your hand.
Yeah.
That's great. That's definitely happened here. Hey, Rabbit Wombat.
So if you are brand new to this channel, thanks to Mr. John, or you just happen to find us because you like Warhammer, just do yourself a favor and follow this guy's channel, which is where you are right now. He has too much knowledge, and it's fun, and you can like learn from him, and then people could like think you're smart because like you learned all these things from him.
Sure.
It costs nothing to support us.
That's true.
Okay, go on.
Okay. Yeah. So Games Workshop has these holiday bundles, or Christmas bundles as they call them. But yeah, these Battle Force boxes. So those are available starting today on pre-order. Here, at least in the US, you can still pre-order them through Games Workshop on their website. Of course, it's going to cost you full price, and you got to pay for shipping. But
Scott oozes knowledge is disgusting.
I ooze it. I ooze it everywhere
Osmosis.
I go. Everywhere I go, I'm oozing.
Oh, hi, that nerdy doc.
Oh, good.
I learned it from watching you, Dad.
Best commercial ever.
Is it? Is it?
Do you don't know that commercial? We'll have to find it. Oh, I think it's a little.
Will we have to?
Before you're yes. So those are all available. I do want to talk about another thing that is up for pre-order, and that is the new tank, new Space Marines tank, which I wasn't gonna buy one necessarily. So if you look up there. There's a bar. We're raising money if the community would like to see me. So the thought was, so this is a cool new tank. You can build it in different ways. There's different stuff you can do with it. Here is...
Are those just different names for the same thing?
No. Sometimes. So the new tank is called the Gladiator. I had to remember which one it was. So it's the new Gladiator tank.
No, you grabbed the Creeper.
I did. So this is the Reaper. This is the Gladiator Reaper.
Got it.
All right. So there's only one kit, but you can build it 3 different ways.
Oh.
And they're actually pretty different in what they do, which is kind of cool. And I was going to talk about that. So yes, this is the Reaper, and this is the one where if you want to annihilate infantry, this is the one you want.
So like these would go up against my orcs really well.
Yes, this would be very good against orcs.
Is it because it goes like this?
Pretty much, yeah. So this one, or my notes, so I remember. Yeah, so this is a twin heavy onslaught Gatling cannon on the top.
Oh, hey, Cameron Rice.
Hello.
Yesterday, Cameron and I did some Fortnite.
Oh, nice.
It was very fun.
So yeah, if you like rolling dice, this is definitely the tank for you, because that gun on the top, every time it fires, it fires 24 shots. So it's just like a bucket of dice to roll.
Wow. And what's its strength?
The tank, the weapon is strength 6, so it's a little bit tougher, or it's a little bit stronger than most infantry's toughness, which is good. But it's just AP 1 and 1 damage. So you're just going to want to
hit
bang
a lot.
away at
yeah. And you probably hit on 6s or 5s, depending on who you're going up against.
It depends. It'll just depend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one's pretty.
You played for 3 more hours? Oh my god, that is so funny. I couldn't involve you with my 10-year-old sons because it's just
it's
a lot.
You gotta,
depending on who like with whom I'm playing.
Sure.
I have my friend who was also on stream with us. And he's like, I'm out. I can't. Like 2 nights ago, just left to play with the kids. It's a little too much.
Well, sure. You gotta temper yourself a little bit.
Well, and one of them was like, you make me nervous when you tell me I shouldn't do it.
No. Well,
I'm trying to educate. Like, shut up. Everyone else is talking.
Sure.
Anyway.
There's that.
Level 30. Nice.
Level 30. Then this is the... So this is the Valiant. Now the Valiant is interesting because essentially when we talk about tanks, and this can be Space Marines or really any of the other factions, you always have to decide, am I using this tank, am I using this weapon for...
Go ahead.
For attacking infantry, like we just saw with the Reaper version, or am I going after armor? So that's like other tanks or big monsters and stuff like that. So now this version is definitely for fighting monsters and other tanks. It has a twin las talon on top.
What does that mean?
It's just like a heavy laser gun.
Like and a las gun from...
Right, but it's just a newer version. And then on the side it has multi-meltas on each side. So it's really good for melting through armor. But all of its weapons are pretty short range. So you have to get paintable. Yeah, there you go. So this one, it can definitely hurt a lot of stuff, but you have to get it really close. It only has 24-inch. I think it's only 24-inch range on all of its guns.
What's its armor?
It's decent.
That doesn't make sense if you have to get close.
Yeah, the Gladiator is toughness 8, so it is a tough tank vehicle. Most tank type things are toughness 7 or toughness 8. It has 12 wounds, which is not bad. 3-up save, no invulnerable save, so that's not great. But yeah, so this one is kind of tricky. This one you have to play this one very aggressively to get the points back.
Although, you know what? That's not different from how you have to play orcs, depending on, like, you just got to push them and get them in.
You've got to get them in, yes.
There's very few that are long range.
Yes, but there's a third way you can build this thing.
It's just the same picture over and over again.
It's not. If you look really closely,
same exact picture.
It's similar.
It's just another... Look, there it is. It's the same one. Okay.
So this is the Lancer, and this one on the top has
Glancer.
The Glancer. I titled all the files G and then the specific name. So the Lancer is a long-range tank hunter, and it has a Lancer laser destroyer. 72 inches on this thing.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Who would you want to go up against with that?
This I'm going after other tanks.
Got it.
And these are fairly maneuverable because they do kind of, well, they don't really hover, but you can kind of pretend. They have 10-inch movement, so you can move them around pretty well.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and then, so this is the one that you want to harass people all the way on the other side of the board.
Love it. And you don't want to inch forward then. You just kind of want to stay where you are, but like maybe
for this one, ideally, yeah. And then it has storm bolters on the sides for if anybody gets close, you can just mow down infantry who are trying to get up to it.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah.
And I'm sorry, what army was this for again?
These are just regular Space Marines.
I got it.
Yes. So yeah, so it's a definitely a cool new tank. And what they did was we're gonna talk about some history. You ready to talk about history? Let me get this thing out of here. So Space Marines are known for their metal boxes. Like this.
Okay.
So this is a Rhino. And it is a small armored personnel carrier. It's clunky as all hell. I mean, would you imagine this could be like a fast or cool vehicle?
No.
I don't know. So they're affectionately referred to as metal boxes.
Got it.
And what they did, both in the lore, because by the time of 40k, technology is stagnant, and all of the best technology is stuff that they refined that had been in the works 10,000 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So this design has been around for a very long time.
Oh.
They know how to make this thing over and over and over again, but they don't really know how to innovate. So what they do is they just take this and then do different things with... Yeah, they're a little dusty. So they do different things with this basic chassis.
Oh, goodness.
So we have the Rhino chassis.
Okay.
And then, what can we do with it?
Add things on top of it.
Add things on top of it. So this one can hold a bunch of dudes. But what if you want to have a little bit more heavy weapon? And you can put a couple little weapons on it. A Storm Bolter, things like that, if you want.
Okay.
But then we upgrade to a Razorback.
Rhino.
Well, yeah. So this Rhino is with nothing. Razorback has a weapon on the back. This one has a twin assault cannon. It is a customized from some Tau parts, which people often do because the regular one doesn't look super cool. So yeah, so Razorback, it limits how many people can fit inside, but you get a cool weapon on the top.
Oh, interesting.
And then if you want to go even heavier...
Why?
Stop having people inside and give it a big gun in the front. And then we have a Vindicator.
Okay.
Which shoots these big, heavy shells.
Just one?
So, well, one at a time.
How are you supposed to assume it gets loaded?
Magic.
Okay.
So that's the Vindicator. Again, same chassis, just with a different weapon system. And then... probably the coolest is the Predator, which turns it into a full-on mini tank.
Okay. Thank you for the subscription, Squirrel. How's it going? 3 months of Squirrel. Yes, just like Spawn. So the Vindicator's cool. It turns it into an actual little tank. Can't hold anybody inside. You can put on the top either las cannons, so heavy lasers, or an autocannon to... An autocannon can kind of like hurt anything. Las cannon is really only good against high toughness things. Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. So how do you feel about these personally? They're ugly, but they're fun to play, certainly. Yeah, I kind of like the simplicity of it. Yes, they're very simple. They're very blocky. Again, not aerodynamic at all. Right. So then when the Primaris Marines came out, they decided... Rolling bricks, that's funny. Yeah, exactly. They are bricks, yeah. When the Primaris Marines came out, when Games Workshop introduced the new versions of Space Marines a couple of years ago, they realized, well, we want to make a lot of money on these. So we're going to give you a whole bunch of new Marine models, and they're not going to be able to ride in any of these. Why? To make money. Oh, sure. So can you give me that box over there? So instead of a Rhino for your Primaris Marines, you need an Impulsor. And I have one here. I haven't opened it yet, but it's essentially a Rhino with a couple extra doohickeys, and it hovers. Wow. Which makes it so much cooler. How it isn't one of those 3 pictures you just showed me. Well, that's the thing. Okay, so where if you put a bunch of weapons on a Rhino, it becomes a Predator. If you put a bunch of weapons on an Impulsor chassis, it's a Gladiator. It's a Gladiator, exactly. So it is based on the same chassis body, but it has a bunch of different weapons and a different top. It is actually a fair amount of different parts. Like you could convert this into a Gladiator, but it would take a lot of work. Okay. Make sense? Yeah. And even this one has a bunch of different options you can give it. I haven't built this one yet, obviously. It's still in the box. Maybe you just don't want to. They're a bit more challenging than those, but I'm looking forward to it. There's some cool stuff you can do with it. Mint condition. Yes, right. Not for long. So far, yeah. So again, they've taken the idea of the metal boxes, upgraded it in different ways, and then applied it to the new... Oh, yeah, with the little head sticking out? Yeah. You know the meme with the cat, the lady yelling and the cat looking? So they've done it with these. Because there's one, where just the head is peeking out. Oh, that's kind of funny. Pretty good. Do Land Raiders next. We'll talk about that. So the other thing I want to talk about was... Land Raiders. In relation... No, we'll talk about... Well, actually, I am going to talk about a Land Raider in just a minute. How did you know? I have one sitting right next to me. So anyway, so the Predator version of the new Impulsors... That's the Gladiator. That's what. So if the community wants to see it and donate up there, I will build one, and you all as the community can decide
which version I build and what accessories we put on it, and
who do you,
we can name it. And, right, we can name it. How we decorate it once we finalize our paint our paint scheme, and we're so close. I ordered a special airbrush paint medium to mix with our pigments, but it didn't get here in time. It was supposed to be here. It didn't get here.
Hello, Megatron. Welcome, Megatron. Look at the cool inside of my jacket.
It's furry. Is it reversible? Mm-mm. Okay. Are you reversible?
Depending on which direction you want me to go. Okay.
Yes.
Clip.
Yes.
Handle. Scope.
Mm-hmm.
Barrel.
Yes.
Hold on.
Okay.
Space Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Mini machine gun. No, I'm kidding. Mini revolver. No. Ooh, mini AK. Like a mini assault rifle.
Sort of. It depends on it. Yeah.
Answer.
So this is a bolt gun. Technically, this one is a bolt rifle, but we're talking about bolters.
Okay.
Are you ready? Very distinctive Space Marine weapon. They've been using these for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Now, what is a bolt gun? The Holy Bolter.
Oh.
That's what they call it. Why is it so big?
If a little Space Marine is like this.
Oh, that's for the toy, the action figure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like, could you mount this on?
Well, like this is exactly what I was thinking. It was like this. Because I didn't know you had
that guy's not going to hold it.
No, like...
That would be the best.
It would be really funny.
There you go. We could do that.
Hey, Erdinsk.
Yeah, so this is the action figure one just because it's big and we can actually see what
it is. Sure.
Yeah, this is on top. That's the rail where you can mount different accessories to it.
Okay. Franken-toy is a good idea.
The rail.
Uh-huh.
And then you've got the... that's a purity seal because Space Marines are super pure.
They're not allowed to F?
They don't have... So this is a very good question. Yes, it is very controversial. Because Space Marines canonically do not...
F.
Correct. They don't have any desire. They don't have any feelings. And there's a question whether they even have the parts anymore. We don't know. Now that's regular Space Marines. Yes, Chaos Space Marines, slightly different story.
Because they're angry that they can't F.
Well, I mean, that's
why wouldn't possible. You? I would leave the Emperor too. Why do you think I'm not Catholic anymore?
That's
it's like that stands to reason.
Yes, but they are very pure. They are chaste.
Ugh.
We don't.
I don't like them at all now.
I'm sorry. Well, they.
Ugh.
So the Bolter. Now the Bolter has gone through, depending on the writer and what property you're looking at.
They remove them jugs.
It's possible. We don't know. They get a bunch of extra organs, so that's good. But maybe some are removed in the process. We don't really know, and they got to fit in that armor. So technically, bolters are referred to as being 75 caliber, which is
as big as
it's like a Coke can or something. Now again, it varies depending on the writer.
Those extra organs ain't chunks. I don't care.
Well, you get an extra heart. You get extra lung. Well, I'll tell you, very frequently in the novels, a Space Marine will be shot in one heart, but will stay on because the other heart is still working.
Okay, Vulcan.
That happens a lot. So approximately 75 caliber, and it fires little rockets. So they're not even just bullets; they're little rockets, self-propelled rockets, kind of like a gyro jet, apparently. So the gun shoots them out, and then as soon as they hit air, they launch themselves forward. And they're mass reactive, so when they hit something, then they explode.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and that's why they are substantial size.
So once they hit, they can do more damage.
Yes, ideally. Now, again, though, if you read the novels...
Is there spray damage? Like, could it spray to the person next to? No, probably not.
No,
because that's not.
No, unless it's like. Well, I mean, it could if it's a soft enough target.
This is a complete.
Okay.
But
let's do it.
Completely unrelated.
Okay.
But Cameron can appreciate that. Is that Doom, or is that Galactus?
Yes.
He's the person we're fighting on Monday, in Fortnite.
Weird.
He's coming up out of the water currently.
Like actual Marvel...
Actual Marvel Doom. Actual Marvel Galactus, Destroyer of Worlds, is who we are working to protect against.
In Fortnite.
In Fortnite. Pull up a Galactus Doom water picture. You have to see this.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know about this. I know that Fortnite has done...
Galactus Fortnite. Yeah, they're doing a Marvel thing right now.
I know they've done stuff with Star Wars and...
So look, it's been coming out of the water.
That's wacky. I mean, of course, you know from the helmet design that, yeah, that's who it is.
We all know going into it.
Well, I'm saying I would know just from the helmet design.
Okay.
That's wild. Why? Just...
I don't know why he's coming out of the water, but it's really cool and ominous. Yes. As he's like...
Sure.
He's also like covering their map in the War Room. And so it is relative.
Sure. Yeah.
Silver Surfer is a skin that you can purchase.
Interesting.
He's not one of the playable characters that they're using in the world. So right now you can either have... You can buy... Like there's a Venom skin. There was like a whole event to get a Venom skin early. Mystique is in there, Storm's in there, Groot's in there, like, and the Thor doesn't look like our Thor.
There have been a lot of different versions,
and Tony Stark doesn't look like our Tony Stark. Like, you know,
yeah.
What I was hoping for.
Sure.
And their Hulk, they do have a Hugh Jackman Hulk, but like
Wolverine.
Thank you. They have a She-Hulk though.
Ooh. Which version?
He did shoot Wolverine in the butt.
Is it like slim, sexy She-Hulk, or is it like hugely bulked out?
Not
that
bulked.
That can't be
it's
sexy.
Both. Like, so they call it like an awakening. So like you can get the one where she goes.
What kind of awakening?
It's for all of them. Like Mystique does one where she takes like once she gets her awakening, she takes the skin of the person she kills.
Oh, that's cool.
But Jennifer Walters like starts off svelte and in her work outfit, and you can go to her law practice, and then if she goes mad, she turns into.
That's cool. Are there new weapons that are specifically related to this event?
Not that I've experienced.
And you know where I'm going with this.
There's BattleTech stuff. Not BattleTech stuff. I say that because that's the term that you use. There's like a bus that Tony Stark designed, or...
Because how are you going to stop Galactus without an ultimate nullifier?
And maybe we have to find that. What is an ultimate nullifier?
It's like the first thing that humans did to stop Galactus.
So tell me about Galactus.
He's the devourer of worlds.
Okay.
He talks. Okay, Galactus is really... a dude named Galen something. I forget his
If my name was Galen, I'd want to destroy worlds too.
Galactus is the last survivor of the previous universe.
What?
Yes, he survived the coming of the new universe. Oh my god, how am I going to get this down?
You don't have to.
But I want to. And you can tell the folks that I have not one but two versions of this.
He has two versions, which is also why it caught my attention. But also, this is what I've been looking at for the last 2 weeks. Is like these, and the kids are like, "Jessica, can you see the horns?" Like he's like pointing up.
So this is my baby.
Galen is a perfectly fine name. I'm just joking. So
know me, mortal. Know me, and no fear. So speaks Galactus. Who dares defy Galactus? I am the devourer of worlds. Tremble at the might of the power cosmic!
That is the voice of Joe Quesada, former editor-in-chief of Marvel.
Oh.
He actually did the voice for the toy.
That's cool.
Kind of cool. Yeah, so he's the last survivor of the previous universe.
Okay.
He is a... what do they call him? He is a universal constant.
Okay.
If he dies, the universe ends.
Whoa. Even though he's a last surviving...
Debatable. Okay. I mean, it depends on the writer, as always. He devours worlds, but he doesn't, like, stuff them in his mouth. He has a machine that breaks down a planet, and he absorbs the energies.
Oh, so in order to live?
In order to live, he has to eat planets. And he has to survive in order for the universe to survive.
So he's coming to eat our world.
Yes. So the original story goes, he has heralds. He takes mortals and he imbues them with a piece of the power cosmic, which is like something that only super special people have access to, and he empowers a herald to go out and find him good planets to eat. And so that's where Silver Surfer comes from.
Oh!
Silver Surfer was a normal dude on another planet. He was like an astronomer. He saw Galactus coming. He tried to stop him, and then they made a deal. His name was Norrin Rad, and Galactus says, I will spare your planet if you come work for me and find me planets to eat. And so he said yes.
But then
to save his Shalabal, his love, so that she...
So does...
all these things.
So doesn't he end up becoming a good guy, though, for us, Silver Surfer, or no? Or is he a bad guy?
Usually. Well, he finds Earth, and like Galactus really wants Earth. The Silver Surfer comes, and Silver Surfer basically tells the Fantastic Four all about Galactus, and they figure out a way to stop him. And it's temporary.
We don't have a Fantastic Four in the game that we're playing right now. One of those guys.
Interesting.
I don't believe so.
Well, how do you stop Galactus without the
Fantastic Four? I don't know.
And yeah, so sometimes in stories, Galactus is like a really good guy. Sometimes he's a jerk.
I love the blue with the eyes shining through, like the light. That's really clever.
And he has square pupils.
Why?
It's hard. I don't know if you can see on that. Well, when it lights up, you might be able to see. Because he's not from around here. And he's super gigantic, and depending on the story, his size changes greatly.
Very cool. Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, of course.
We have no idea how we're going to fight him, but
how do you fight this?
Devourer.
And yes, he does have G on his
Galactus.
Which is kind of goofy, but what are you gonna do?
He's just in case you didn't know who he was.
Right. And yes, I have two different versions of this same toy, one in darker colors, basically.
There are those characters that are last page reveals. It's Tim Thomas and the Punisher.
Yeah, whenever Galactus shows up in a comic book, it's like...
Isn't the Punisher a good character?
Anti-hero. But yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, if Punisher shows up, it means he's there to kill somebody. Yeah, so there have been other versions of Galactus in other stories. Just depends on what's going on.
So, thoughts on the ultimate interpretation of Galactus, the Machine Legion? Yeah,
so like I said, whenever there's a parallel universe shown in Marvel Comics, there's always like a really wacky version of Galactus. It's a robot, it's a giant snake head thing, whatever.
Connect this story
to
Warhammer.
Okay. Well, we'll have to talk about Necrons one day. I think it would be most connected to Necrons.
Okay.
And oh boy, is there a lot of history and lore behind the Necrons. So in the old days, in the really, really old days, there was the War of Heaven. Which even most Warhammer people, I don't think fully know the lore to the War of Heaven. Or War in Heaven. But it deals with essentially like species that were around in the Warhammer universe millions of years ago, and like they created some of the races that now exist, and there was a big battle, and they fought, and blah blah blah, and the War in Heaven, but yeah, we'll talk about that's a topic. For I
just felt like if I had thrown you off topic, we should at least bring it back somehow.
But yeah, because eventually the people who became the Necrons, they enslaved some of their own gods. And like they can't really get rid of them, so they just use them as batteries. And then they use the analogy that it's like Pokemon. They put their gods in Pokeballs and then use them for energy, or have them come out and fight for them, which is that's always fun.
That's how you do.
Yes. Bolt guns. That's what we were talking about. So yes, they shoot these cool mass reactive projectiles, rockets, and they don't always work. Sometimes they just hit things and drop to the ground.
Okay.
Other times they explode. Depending on what you're reading, they can be just crazy. Like it'll go inside a human, and like just there'll be nothing left. It'll explode. They'll be like just feet left. It also depends on like how fast they fire. Varies widely in the different video games and books and stuff. But yeah, so the point is though that they shoot these really big rounds that self-propel and then explode.
Okay.
Now there are many different types of bolters. Now originally the Emperor designed the bolters for Space Marines. But now in 40k, essentially all of the human factions use bolters to some degree. Like the Sisters of Battle have bolters. Even the Astra Militarum, like their sergeants can have a bolter. There are bolters in other places, but it is best known for being a Space Marine weapon.
Okay.
And there are a bunch of different kinds. So there's the bolt pistol.
Oh.
As opposed to the full bolt gun or bolter. Same difference. This guy, he's wielding both. Because he's super cool.
He's good at that?
Sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But it doesn't have the rails.
Right. And then it's just cosmetic. There have been lots of different kinds of, like, different shapes to the bolters. But as long as it has the hole through the sides so that it can activate I mean, it's all just bullshit. But, yeah. No. That's just, traditionally, there's a hole through the side of the barrel where it leads.
He's prickly.
He's got bumps. He's ribbed. More recently, they've introduced the Bolt Storm Gauntlet.
Whoa!
Which straps a bolt pistol to your power fist.
That's very cool.
With a rail for the ammunition, which is kind of fun. So you see he's got a little bolt pistol attached to his arm there. That's
pretty darn cool.
Yeah, and bolt guns they're very, very heavy. And they have, again, depending on the story, sometimes they really
go like this.
Sometimes they have a massive amount of recoil. Sometimes they have zero recoil.
How do you?
Yeah.
Would you ever want a job at Games Workshop?
Potentially.
Like.
I mean, there's a lot to keep track of, but they have guides for all of these things. Like we don't use. They never use the word factory. It's a manufactorum. Like, they have all of these things.
Okay.
So, that's a thing.
What's the difference?
A word. But yes, there are some humans, though, who are strong enough to wield their own bolt gun. Few. And then there are, especially with the Primaris Marines, there are a bunch of different variants of bolt guns now. So,
that's cool.
So that one has, like, yeah, and it just has an added ammo thing on the bottom.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's just a lot of different versions. A lot of different pistol versions now, too. They have some special marksman
He has two
versions.
helmets on, too.
He does.
On his butt.
Because I don't like unhelmeted Marines. So he came with that one sculpted on. I gave him another helmet. But then I have a reason, though.
In case he loses this one?
No. That's good, too. No, so again, I don't like unhelmeted Marines because I think their heads are typically really ugly. So yes, some have helmets sculpted on, like this one has his helmet on his belt, and it came with an unhelmeted head. So my idea for my Space Marines here is that they honor their fallen mentors and leaders by bringing their helmets with them into battle.
Yeah, because that makes sense.
As much as anything else in Warhammer.
Exactly. Okay, question, Emily. If you think The Rock could handle a bolt gun as a mere human, is The Rock worthy to pick up Milnor?
Interesting question. We have assault bolters.
Oh, those are weird.
They're like giant pistols with little shields on them. Who knows? So just to make something different,
I guess.
Just to have something new.
But it's not practical.
Wait, did you just say the P word? Oh, look at that. Heavy bolter.
Oh, is that
heavy bolter's pretty cool.
Machine gun?
That's the more machine gun version.
Well, yeah, because look, you got
shoots like usually belt. 3 at a time.
And that's cool.
Yeah, he's got an extra pack to hold the ammunition for it.
That is so cool. This is cool.
Heavy bolters are neat. And the heavy bolters just got way better in the game. They got new rules. So that is a heavy bolter. So that one's cool. And then, now, heavy bolter reaches the most we can do with a bolter. But what if, I know this is crazy, but what if we took 2 bolters and tied them together to make one weapon.
To make it look like balls and pins.
So this is a Combi Bolter, which is just 2 bolters strapped together.
It looks like...
Well, this is an old style one.
It just looks like balls.
Okay. So that's a Combi Bolter.
You know, it's been a long time since you've seen balls. That's what you think that they look like that.
And then they figured out, wait a minute.
This is cool.
This is too clunky. If we actually have 2 bolters tied together, what if we had 2 bolters in one casing? That's a Storm Bolter.
Honestly, it's better than the 2 balls.
Blow your mind, right?
Yeah. Did you paint this?
No, I got
good,
that one
it's
from
bad.
somebody. It's fine.
Kidding.
It's serviceable.
It's good.
So yeah, so then you get larger and more increased bolt weapons by just tying a bunch of bolt guns together. So you have 2 bolt guns together for a Combi Bolter and for a Storm Bolter.
That's really funny.
They used to have different rules. Now they're the same. So yeah, so this is a Storm Bolter. You can see it's got 2 little barrels in the front. Now it used to be that the next best thing after that was a Hurricane Bolter.
Whoa!
Count them, 6 bolters tied together.
That's really funny.
And yes, it does a whole bunch of shots with a Hurricane Bolter. And this has 2 of them, one on each side, which is cool.
Are there any bolters here?
This is a Storm Bolter here.
Okay.
You can outfit these things with more bolters. They even managed to pack a Hurricane Bolter into here.
Whoa.
You see there's 6
this
little
guy's
bolters.
sick.
Yeah, I love these. A
How
lot
does
of
he
people
even
don't,
move?
but this is a Centurion. And if you look at his chest, you see the little circles on the sides. So that is a Hurricane Bolter system built into his chest. So there's 3 bolters packed in there. So this thing... So a Marine is a transhuman, but a human in powered armor, right? Now, to get one of these guys in here, this guy actually steps into the full armor. So he's wearing 2 suits of armor. If you look close on the back of the legs, you can see the leg armor of this inside there.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a guy who gets in an armor suit, who then gets in a bigger armor suit.
Poor guy.
Completely ridiculous.
Poor guy.
So it actually has 2 sets of mechanical musculature, essentially.
So what if you hit it? Is its AP doubled?
Well, it's tougher than a regular one, for sure. But slowly. They are slow.
That's really great.
I think they're...
Armor section, totally.
Yeah. Not everybody likes these.
Well...
They're a little silly.
It's not theirs to judge.
But yeah, so with this all comes back, there's a reason why I'm talking about this. And when we're looking at the new Gladiator tanks, specifically the one that goes up against infantry, if you look at the sides, so we've already had single bolters, we've had 2 bolters together, we've had 6 bolters together. This one introduces the 4 bolters together.
Because
we haven't had before.
Why did we need to go up?
Right, we jumped a whole... So these are Tempest Bolters. So it follows along with Storm and Hurricane.
Storm's bigger than a...
Oh, it's a thing. Hey, sure. More bolters, the better.
Hurricane. Oh!
Yeah. So now we have Storm,
Tempest, Hurricane.
Yes.
What will they call the 5 bolter?
I don't know.
And what will they... Category 5?
Maybe. Yeah,
what will they call...
Now there are...
Tropical Storm?
Now there are also even larger bolt arrays that are on like Titans and fortifications and stuff like that. So those are like mega Vulcan bolter and stuff.
What do you call a 3 bolter?
A 3? I don't know.
Tree bolt.
Sure.
Sorry, it didn't have anything planned.
Move.
Yeah, it's just right. The one with the 4 is Goldilocks.
It's not overkill.
It's Goldilocks's.
Yeah. But yes, and as Zardoz was asking about, this is a land raider. Not because it raids lands, because there was a scientist.
named Land.
Scholar, named Land.
Really?
Who discovered the Arcan Land, and he rediscovered the
ancient
schematics basically to build it. Yeah, some other stuff too. There's a land speeder because he found it's goofy, but it's a thing. Yes.
I was laughing because in the moment you brought it up.
Yes.
I wanted to knock it out of your hand immediately.
Oh.
Like, this is the sibling in me.
Ah, I see.
I think.
Sure.
Also, like, the playful, but, like, why? Why is that how I want to play?
I don't know. But I'm glad
just be grateful for
happy
impulse
that you
control.
Didn't. Sure.
Yeah, just a little. Just a little bit of impulse control.
Just a little bit. Yes, and Land Raiders come in several different varieties. They all, again, have the same basic hull. It just depends on what weapons are on there. So this is a Land Raider Crusader. Dun, dun, dun,
dun. Yeah, John, I think it has a lot to do with that. I think that's... So, like, it was a question, and we've talked about this before, but, like, what should you learn how to play? There's so many armies, and I was overwhelmed. What? By the amount of armies. And he goes, well, these are chaotic. Well, okay. I didn't even bother listening to the other ones.
We should talk on a future episode about how... Yeah, so it's got a bunch of little things that can attach to the top in different places.
We should talk. Actually talk.
We should make a guide. Are you at all interested in Warhammer? How do you pick what faction you want?
We should make that like a YouTube special. Oh!
He really didn't want to stick his head out. He wanted to go back inside. Well, here, look, because he's missing his arms.
Oh, well, that would be why then.
So this is another...
Oh, what if we did what army you should play with Warhammer based on your Myers-Briggs?
You could probably do that.
That's pretty funny.
So yes, I did get this one secondhand. I did not paint it. I would never... Cover your ears, Zardos. I would never play or build or paint anything Dark Angels related. But that's just my preference. So yeah, but typically these have a lot of optional and other weapons that you can attach to the top, these hatches. But yeah. So the standard version of the Land Raider has las cannons, and it can fit a couple of like Terminators inside, or some smaller armored dudes. This version, the Crusader, it gets rid of some of the heavy weapons, and it has more anti-infantry weapons, but it can hold more Terminators, so you could get a bigger squad of cool dudes in there. There's another version of this that instead of the Hurricane Bolters has a whole bunch of flamers, so flamethrowers. That one's really good.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, it's very Mad Maxy.
Yeah. Land Raider. With a whole bunch here. I'm gonna put all these back inside. It's good storage. And yeah, if you build it excuse me, if you build it correctly, the ramp actually will open both doors. And there is a fully sculpted and decorated interior to the vehicle.
Oh my goodness.
Which you can only see from this little hatch, and some people paint the entire thing.
Yeah,
everything
I
inside.
would want to as well. I don't know why.
I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but there's a fully detailed interior to this thing with seats and weapon racks and machinery, controls.
This is
the works.
Audition related.
Okay.
Forgive me.
No, I totally understand. I mean, I can pretend I understand. So, there you go. I have a few Land Raiders around. They've been good in some editions. They're not always the base. Emily said, no, so Warhammer is not connected to Marvel at all, with the exception is that Marvel Comics, the company, makes Warhammer comic books right now, but otherwise, no. We were just talking about Marvel in relation to Fortnite. John, you painting the interiors while you haven't finished your vehicles. It's a lot of work to fully paint out the interior of those things. I've seen some people do it, and it's amazing work. and then they just seal it all up, and you'll never see it again.
My mother wants a $500 hair dryer. Thank you for the raid, Barking Darrow.
Thank you, Darrow. Welcome.
He's been here.
Welcome, Raider. He has. Well, he goes in and out. A $500 hair what?
Dryer, something, a Dyson hair dryer, and I just think it's the stupidest idea.
I mean,
she wants it, but it's such a dumb idea.
The heart and the hair wants what the hair wants.
No.
No?
This is what she wants for Christmas. And, you know, there's 4 children. We could split it. Y'all, look at it. Hold on. My sister just shared it. This is why I'm talking about it. I could cry.
Don't cry.
No, I'm not going to buy it. I just can't.
Don't get sad. Get mad.
I'm mad.
As Rabbit Wombat says, you could almost buy a Titan for that much.
Well, you know what? I should let her know.
We should get a Titan. And
I should let her know what she could get.
Okay.
Okay, she didn't send the exact thing. Oh, yeah, it's this thing. Air wrap or straightener, hair dryer. They don't even dare list the prices.
You have to ask for them to tell you how much it costs.
Look, they won't even tell you. They're just showing like you can get
just get a space heater.
There's a space heater on this one. Well, not on this, but like it's Dyson, so you can get a hand warmer.
What was I gonna say? What faction would your mom play?
Wow.
Or should we save that for when we talk about?
I think we should save it because the thing is like I'll need to tell you more about her.
Sure. Because
I definitely don't know all of them.
That's fair.
Enough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good one. Trying to see about what would your parents play?
Yeah.
I'm always trying to think of what faction Max is going to be into.
I think he's gonna. He wants to have cute things.
Yes, that's true. They're not really. There aren't really any cute factions
there's nothing cute.
in Warhammer 40k. Some of the other ones that are cute factions, but not here so much.
Maybe the 8 elves.
Maybe, yeah. I was actually thinking maybe Harlequins because they're colorful, they're bright.
What's the one that Malika played with like it was a very wispy?
Yeah.
He might like that.
Grotz.
Yeah. He just plays a whole army of Grotz.
You could. It wouldn't be super effective, but you could.
Like 100 Grotz.
You would need a lot.
Hilarious. Here's the thing. My mother lives in a bedroom in her sister's house. She shouldn't be asking for a $500 fucking hairdryer thing.
Okay. Next question. What if we take a cue from Warhammer? What if you got several hairdryers and tied them together to make like a hurricane hairdryer?
Wouldn't you want to walk into that bathroom if you like put them on either side of you? What if you attach them to the mirror?
Yes.
And you're like this, like all you have to do is just this.
And then
like,
and then you just turn yourself and
I love it. I love it.
I'm saying
you could patent that and you just
need a bunch of extension cords just everywhere.
Well, no, you get engineering.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, again, that would be the difference between a Combi Bolter and a Storm Bolter if they're separate,
but
or
together.
if they're in the same casing.
Well, no, but the Hurricane has 3 and 3. It's gonna look more. That's how I'm more picturing it.
Okay.
That guy, the double armored boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I would want it.
Okay.
Like, you know how, like, showers, like, completely egregious, like, one shower here, one from the top.
Yes,
from, like,
all the different...
Why are we doing that?
Yeah.
But with hair dryers.
What does it do other than drying hair?
That's
a good question.
I think it's also, like, one of those that's, like, straightens because it goes, like... I think it's just, like, a multi-tool, but beats the flying fuck out of me. I think she shared it before. Let me see. Hold on. She didn't. She just...
I mean, this is important. You need to know what she's into.
Is it? My brother is so smart. He goes, sounds crazy. Like, bitch, we should be putting that down on a fucking car. Not really, but she can get whatever.
Yeah.
Ball guy. Lord 11. That's funny. They can probably blow leaves, honestly. Probably.
So one thing that you have not... I don't think you ever played... On all the times you played Orcs, I don't think you ever played a Weirdboy.
No.
A Psyker, the Ork Psyker.
No. Yeah, because I know that there is psyching.
Yes. So I was going to talk today a little bit about psychics in Warhammer.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think I'm tired, and I think it's not your fault, and I think that we should go for it.
Okay.
Because it's a whole thing.
Yes. Oh, and also, I also wanted to say that...
I tried to want.
That's a good one. The other weapon on this thing, so yes, it had the cool new Tempest Bolters, and then that weapon on the top, the heavy onslaught Gatling Cannons. That's also a relatively new thing in the Space Marines that they started with. Actually, the first one, I believe the first one was on the Redemptor Dreadnought. So you see its arm there is this new Gatling Cannon. And then they've reused that on a couple. This thing
on the top?
No,
or?
On the arm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just the big chunky one. In the full, so they came out with 2 different kits of this. A kit where you can customize every part of it and pose it, and different weapon options. And then this kit, which is the easy to build one, and this was like 10 parts, super easy to build, no options. But this kit did not come with a rocket launcher that sits on the top, so I made my own with parts from a different kit. And it's a little goofy, but I thought it would look neat. It's sort of like an anime missile launchers as bunny ears kind of look to it. What do you think? Does it fit?
I feel like it's like those dually trucks that like have like long mirrors that are out far because they're too big. Sure. And then it's just gonna get knocked off.
Okay.
But aesthetically, it was a smart call.
Okay. I mean, of course, imagine it, painted, and that'll bring it together.
Imagination.
Okay.
I'm just saying you were right to because of the slope
or like horns.
That fit there.
Yeah, I thought so.
So
I had a couple of options.
It's fuchsia, so that should make you happy. It's called, what is it? It's out of control. The Dyson Airwrap Styler.
Dyson Airwrap.
So it could make your hair straight.
Ooh.
It could make.
I need that.
Yeah, you sure do. Look, it just looks like it's like the most weirdest dildo you ever had.
Anything's a dildo if you're adventurous enough.
This is true.
There's a thing for that.
Here's the thing. She's gonna get this.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so
but will it make her happy?
Is that a Psyker?
That one is not. That was the last. These are Psykers.
Okay. And these are Orkies?
These are Space Marine Psykers.
Okay.
So there's only one Weirdboy model. I do not have one. It's an old model. They really need a new one.
I need one.
But maybe one day they'll come out with a new one.
My lip hurts inside because of this. Oh. It'll be okay.
Okay. I see you have your...
It's not nothing to do with that. It's
I guess so. That's true. Ice Cube?
No, it's just a little cut.
Okay.
Go on.
Sorry.
Go on.
So psychics. Yes. Yeah, there are other models that you can use for that. Oh, we can talk about flesh terrors.
This is your stream.
Well, it's our stream.
So I had a user line now, and there's one tooth that the gums.
It wants to do its own thing.
Yeah.
It's going places.
So in order to accommodate that tooth, the plastic dips down, and
it wears.
It's just hitting the lip.
Sure.
Or inside the lip. I'm fine though. Thanks for asking. Thanks so much.
Well, yeah, I thought psychic would be interesting.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. What were you saying? Blood angels?
Flesh terrors.
I'm here for it.
Flesh. They tear the flesh.
Oh, they actually tear the flesh?
So the joke is, if you want to play Space Marines, but you want to play really aggressively and like get right into enemies' faces and do a lot of melee combat, you play Blood Angels.
Okay.
But if that's not quite aggressive enough for you, then go Flesh Terrors.
Yikes.
So they're a successor chapter of the Blood Angels.
Okay.
So they have the same like gene seed, the same DNA, but they just go all in for tearing flesh.
So okay, I'm sure you have an order of
Sucking their
procedure for talking about it. Because
Okay.
I have questions already.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait.
Okay.
Until you tell me in the order you want to attempt
No, go
to.
ask questions.
No.
Why? I love questions.
How
Yes.
did these brute force men who just exist to serve a god who doesn't want to be a god get psychic abilities?
Good question. Very good question. So Psykers, at least among humans, Psykers are mutants. There are.
Did they F the wrong people?
No, they're not inbred. They're just mutants. So a random assortment of humans who just naturally have psychic potential. And then, of course, you have to go get training for it to be...
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so they're kind of
like Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like mutants, like the X-Men mutants, where, like, some people might have a mutant ability, it might never manifest, it might manifest as something minor, but you could train to have it be something more... It's like their
quirk in the other show that everyone likes, where everyone's a hero. My Hero Academia, they call it quirks. Like some people can just like spit really far or like whatever.
Yeah, I don't know that much about that one, but
I don't know either.
Okay, what is it most like, everyone? Training is a keyword for Murder in Dark and Alley. Yeah, so the...
Hi, Coven Guy, thank you.
Oh, cool, welcome. Yeah, so psychic powers come from the warp. They're tied to the Immaterium, where the Chaos Gods live, and it's a bad scene for most people. You don't want to get involved with that. But with proper training, proper obeying the Emperor, always keep the Emperor in your heart. Keep the Emperor between you and any boyfriend. Like, there's got to be space for the Emperor. It's all that kind of stuff.
Oh,
no. With proper training, you can use those powers for good. Maybe.
Unless...
Usually not.
Okay.
Usually not. Yes, as Zardoz was hinting at, the Imperium of Man sends out just endless resources to find children or adults, but mainly children who have psychic potential. They take them from their homes. They put them on these things called the Black Ships that are like, they're sort of akin to like slave ships in like real history. So they're these giant spaceships just packed full of potential psychers, just taken from their homes. And then eventually they test them to see if they could possibly be useful.
In a three-way, there's always room for the Emperor. Zardoz answered Coven Guy, but...
yes.
Well, he has a lot of toys and figurines. So right now we're just going through specifics of different factions.
Yes. We do paint on occasion, probably next week. No, not next week. The week after that we'll do more
What's next? Is it?
Next week, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, what happens is the vast majority of human psychers are...
Blood for the Blood God?
Blood for the Blood God! Skulls for the Skull Throne.
You're on the same team?
Well, adjacent.
Okay.
I mean, blood... Corn cares not from whence the blood flows. So long as there is blood.
Oh, because that's... Yes. Got
it. Where was I? You always get wrapped up in the blood.
Am I making you uncomfortable?
No, I'm fine.
Do you need some comfort?
Maybe.
From what?
My buddy Galactus here.
Did you sleep
He's perfect for... He's a perfect hugging size.
So a boy would think.
Well...
It's not a comfortable hug.
It's fine. He's muscly.
You coddled it. No,
maybe he needs some cuddling.
I'm not judging you.
He's so angry. He just wants love.
Don't we all?
Let's see what do you have to say about this?
You serve me now.
Oh, that's perfect. Where's your wizard?
Oh, we put it away because it was bothering everybody.
Oh.
And it's so loud. Yeah, so the vast majority of human psychers are taken back to Terra, to a room behind where the Emperor is, and they sacrifice them for the Emperor. 1,000 every day. The Emperor eats 1,000 humans. Well, he eats their energy to power him up.
Do they know that?
Most people don't know that. No.
That, like, they're training and then they go. Like, do people like think that the other Psykers have just gone on to different battles in different planets?
Well,
like, we're just not talking about it.
Yes, yeah, it's that.
We just don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's like the Aztecs. We're just like, okay, get us a few virgins and we'll let their blood down the. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, he's right here. Like, how do you? It's like if Baby Yoda. I'm not going to use the other thing, but if Baby Yoda was there, like, you'd want to pick him up and hold him.
What other thing?
I don't want spoilers.
Oh. Baby Big Bird.
Baby Big Bird. Come on, guys. This hot take: best Marvel characters. Franklin Richards is pretty interesting.
I'm gonna grab one.
And he has some connections to Galactus at times too, which is cool. Is everything okay?
Oh yes, it's okay. Audition related, which
sure. Yeah, like I said, if you need to go and take care of that,
just need to affirmative.
Franklin Richards is the son of the two oldest of the Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards and his wife Sue Storm. Franklin is a mutant, which is interesting, and he basically has unlimited power. That's his mutant ability, unlimited power. So various storylines have involved him from the future coming back, or like what could he potentially become. And yes, he has just like complete reality altering abilities. Whatever he wants can happen. Yeah, exactly. Which is pretty cool. So there was actually in the HeroClix, in the most recent Fantastic Four set, there's a figure of Mr. Wait, how do they call it? Not Dr. Fantastic. So it's Reed who then becomes essentially Dr. Doom in the future, and he can call in essentially a Franklin Galactus to fight for you. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Everyone, good energy thoughts. No. We won't know for a little, but I'll take it. Mama needs a paycheck.
Gotta do it like this guy.
Oh, people don't like when I say Mama's gotta go pee on stream.
No, they don't like that. They find it weird. Okay,
unsettling.
Sure,
I'm so confused by that.
Okay. Yes.
Thanks, Aridance. I appreciate that.
Wow. Yes.
It's true as our dogs. It's the mama part, I think, that is unsettling.
I thought you said there are worse things that fall out of your mom. Speaking of which, I started a movie. Well, that's a joke. So I started a movie.
Speaking of things falling out of your mom.
Yeah. Okay, so I started a movie that I saw on Prime Video.
Okay.
And I was deep in Prime Video, like I'm just endlessly searching, like the bottom of the barrel, like something that. So there's a movie called The Thingy. It's about a woman who gives birth to a sentient placenta.
How do people get money for these things, and why does Amazon
it is massively low budget. I believe it was filmed in Germany. Troma released it here in the US. If you're not, Teeth is great. Teeth isn't bottom of the barrel. Teeth is a good movie.
No, you don't know how your taste. He doesn't know you.
Teeth is way above The Thingy. I haven't finished it.
Thing. Are you going to?
Maybe. You got to stick with it. Teeth is great. Teeth is a good. Have you seen Teeth?
I'm never going to.
Okay, why?
Because I don't want to know.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in the vajayjay.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Okay. I mean, it's just a movie.
I had a dream 2 nights ago, yesterday, about an overbearing woman that you couldn't kill because of a story someone told me yesterday. And it was correlative to an improv show episode thing. And like, if I can dream that easily about something that someone just told me,
like you're worried about manifesting.
I don't want to have that dream.
Okay, all right. Do you need Galactus? he is comforting.
I sleep like this at night. Like, wait, huh? Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I liked Teeth. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the Trauma catalog of movies,
high quality.
It's not for everybody. But there's a difference because Trauma makes some of their own movies, and those are bad. But then they also distribute other bad movies that other people make.
So if Galactus has to exist in order for the universe to exist, what happened to the other guys?
Well, he
ate them.
He sort of knew what was coming when the old universe was ending. Yeah, I don't remember exactly because I get it mixed up with. There's a very similar character in DC Comics.
Oh.
Called Relic, because he's a relic of the previous universe.
Yeah.
So that part of the story I get mixed up between the two.
Bet you he bangs.
No, he fucks.
He F's.
Oh, I don't know if we show that the back of his head lights up too.
Who is so ignorant as to confront Galactus?
But that's just so that, see who is so ignorant because his eyes. It's a light piping effect. Is he on? Hold on, I have to bend his legs just to get him on screen.
You will witness the end, for I am power incarnate.
Wow. Okay. He's got.
He has a lot of lines.
No, but he's also. I think he reiterates what he thinks he is because he has low self-esteem.
Possibly. He's very lonely. That's why he always makes little friends to fly around the universe with him.
Silver Surfer. I have not watched Jingle Jangle, and I don't know anything about it. Why didn't you put a helmet on that boy?
Which one?
That Psyker.
Well, this one. So this was one of the first models I built, and he has some stuff going on.
Oh.
And honestly, he's not the worst face. He's got like a beard thing going on. He's got a cap because he's a librarian. There's some other stuff going on with him, but
oh yeah, he's got some. There's like description.
It's not just a blocky, horrible face.
Interesting.
Which most of them are. Jingle Jangle actually it looks interesting. I'm gonna check it out because it does look interesting.
So
yes,
they have Psyker potential. They go to Psyker school for the Emperor.
For the Emperor.
And then they go, great, you have gotten, like, you've grown your Psyker's potential. Go back to the Emperor. Oh, wait, here, check out this special room for you. And then, but then, so none of them, how do you get the ones onto battle then? What saves them for the battle?
Some are sane enough and
so
can worship enough. Well, yes, it's because of their connection to the warp that makes them unstable. And it makes them so that if they use their Psyker powers, then like the demons could get in there and mess with them. So you have to have like iron will, and
I see.
You also have to be like kind of fanatical. Being a fanatic about the Emperor helps.
Okay.
Because it gives you something to focus on. And the Emperor does have power that he is emanating. So that can actually help people in certain situations.
For Psyker.
Yeah, especially.
So the psychic stage, there's a stage. And if you have a Psyker, you can do the psychic stage. From whence does the psychic power come?
Some people are born with the ability to access the warp. That's really all it is.
It's warp. So what does that mean?
So the warp is the warp or the immaterium, same two different words for the same thing. It's a different. It's a parallel dimension essentially, and that's where the chaos gods live.
And they want our word.
Rule. They want everything.
Got it. So it's actually dangerous for the Marines to dabble.
Yes.
Because they could easily...
Right, that's why they have all the training to fall back on, yes. And there was a time when the Space Marines were... they weren't allowed to use any psychic powers. So if you were a psychic, you had to...
Hide it.
Yeah, well, you had to not use them anymore, and some were shunned. And
it's kind of like how Voldemort could see into Harry's brain.
If you say so.
Sure. So how did we get a weird guy?
That is a good question.
Is it?
It is. And I actually don't fully know the answer. Because orcs Orcs have a number of special abilities because they are a very strange race, right? They have a sort of a communal psychic field that empowers their technology. That makes them whatever they believe. It's part of their psychic.
And yet they are not worshipping of anyone.
Well, they have gods.
Oh.
They have two gods, Mork and Ork. Mork and Gork, rather. And it's always, one is brutal but cunning, the other is cunning but brutal.
What's cunning?
Like cunning.
Cunning? Oh, because they say cunning.
Yeah.
Oh, he's cunning and brutal.
Gork and Mork, yeah. And it's always...
Cunning and brutal.
And they can never tell them apart. Because they're so similar. It's orcs.
Do they ever see them physically?
Well, no, but they build like robotic versions of them. It's like the Stompa, but smaller.
Okay.
And there's two. There's a Gorkanaut and a Morkanaut. And you have to try to remember which one is which because they're so similar.
I love them. I love them more every day.
Yeah.
They're so dumb.
It's so dumb, but it's so great.
My guys.
So humans and Eldar have reflections in the warp.
Humans and Eldar. So
and
they see the versions of themselves in that universe?
No, so if... It's hard to explain, but essentially our emotions, our human emotions, have a reflection in the immaterial. Mm-hmm. So it causes like swirls and eddies and things. So like a strong enough feeling, or like it's kind of like the Force. You know, like Obi-Wan sensed when Alderaan exploded.
Yeah.
So like that would happen between humans and the warp. Like the warp, people in the warp would be able to sense something big going on here.
Got it.
So there's like a whole connection there. Orcs do not have that. I don't know, maybe they're too dumb.
Please don't give a flying.
Yeah. So orcs, in some cases, the orcs are divorced from the warp, but they still do have this psychic field.
But they have
Psykers
in a way.
Yes. Yes.
And just for clarity's sake, if you don't burn the field after killing orcs, they could essentially grow back.
Yeah, they will. Yeah.
That doesn't matter in the battle.
Correct. Right.
So
when you play on the tabletop, it doesn't matter.
Where does it? Where does that piece of information matter?
Just in the lore, in the books, and the video games and stuff. I mean, they can't. Not everything can go into the actual tabletop game.
But like that seems like useful.
Well, it takes time though.
Well,
so it's not something like you would see.
Well, if you have
battles,
throw an orc and you just pour some blood on it, or you throw some teeth.
I mean, hey, orcs never lose.
That's right.
You don't have to worry about it.
That's great.
So Ork Weirdboyz are the orc psychics. They are also very rare. Like I said, I don't know exactly how they come about. I'd have to look it up, but I assume it's
I guess if they're rare. Thank you so much for the follow.
Hey, thank you, Ben. Welcome.
I guess if they still haven't made, is there a world where Games Workshop's going to be like, we made a mistake by making a psychic orc and just like retcon it, especially if they haven't made a version of him recently?
It's possible, sure. But, so orcs have, when we talk about Psykers, almost every faction has Psykers. The ability to play Psykers.
Oh no, Snow!
But not all of them. So if you are new to Warhammer and you want to play Warhammer and you don't want to have to learn about the psychic phase and how to do psychic abilities, you can play Tau or Necrons, and then you don't have to worry about it. Because those two factions do not have any Psykers. Did you know that?
I didn't, but no, I didn't.
Okay. And that's because the Tau...
Tau's Burts, right?
Yeah. The Tau don't have souls, essentially. Well, according to the Chaos Gods. Okay. They're just like blank, so like, what are these things? They're useless to us.
So they don't possess them. That's interesting.
But sometimes they do, even though they don't have souls. They're soulless space cow fish communist people.
Okay.
Essentially.
Okay. Cool.
So Tau, no Psykers. Necrons in their fight against the old gods and their transfer to robot metal bodies, they gave up their souls. So they don't have Psykers either. Now, none of that is to say that these factions couldn't eventually get some sort of Psyker in some way, but currently, no Psykers.
Got it. And that means that they should have an advantage against Psykers based off of something else, right? One would hope.
Oh, but they
well, are they less susceptible to psychic phase? When a psychic phase occurs?
Yes.
I've got a weird boy.
Yes.
And you've got a Space Marine.
Yes.
And we're doing the psychic stage.
I've got a Librarian. Yes.
Okay. What are we trying to do?
Good question. So every Psyker... So this is what the book says. The book says every Psyker has the ability to cast Smite. So it's like a universal psychic power. Everybody, if you're psychic, you can smite someone.
Cool.
Or you can attempt to. That's not actually accurate. Some Psykers out there don't have Smite. Or you can choose Smite or something else. But whatever. So Smite basically says... let's take one step back. Because let's go through the actual rules. Okay. And then it'll get us to the narrative stuff.
You're the driver of the bus.
Oh, shit.
I know.
I better take out my blindfold. So psychic phase, right? When you play the game, there are phases that determine what you do when, right? So it's the start of your turn. You do the command phase. Now that's the new thing.
Thank you for redempting your meat points.
Your meat points. That's right. Technically, they're gobbets.
All right.
Don't pull that off, please.
But why is it loose?
Fix it because it's just sort of hanging there. We should probably show them what we're talking about, because that visual was kind of weird what I just did, and the words I used. It's a big cannon shell hanging off the back of that. That's what that is.
You know what it looks like, though. Cannon shell.
Sure. Okay, so there's the command phase. You regain a command point on your army if that's the way you built your team. Okay. There are a handful of abilities that you do in the command phase.
Is that new to the newest edition?
Yes, okay. It is. So we did that practice game, but you haven't really played a game with the command phase yet. But you will soon. You will soon. So you do the command phase, then you do the movement phase. And that's when you move your entire army if you want. You can move as many as you want. And then you get into the psychic phase. Okay. So again, the Tau and the Necrons never have to learn this stuff because they just skip right ahead to the shooting phase.
But they get affected if they're playing a team.
Right, their opponent, yes. So in the psychic phase, if you have Psykers in your army, you pick them in order, whichever order you want, to activate psychic abilities. Or to attempt to activate.
You can only activate one of them.
You can activate all of them now. You just have to do... So, like, if you had two Psykers, one could do multiple powers, and you wanted him to go first, you would have to do all of his before you moved on to her.
The other guy. Got it.
So you have to just do them in order. The data sheet for your character will tell you if they have psychic powers, if they have how many, if they have to choose some before the battle... how many they can do each turn.
Do they have to ready up too, or like to prepare that they're gonna psych?
Not in game. Okay. No, but a lot of characters will have something like this character knows 2 powers, but each turn can only do 1. So then you just have to decide which ones you know. So it's kind of like wizard spell slots.
Got it.
Yeah, but you don't have to like prepare in game or rest or anything like that. And then you say, okay, this one is going to attempt to manifest, let's say, Smite. And then each one has rules for... Most psychic powers are relatively short range, 18-inch, 6-inch auras to 18-inch attacks, things like that. The enemy often has to be visible in order to attack it.
Which is odd.
Because you're... Yeah, because you have to...
Because if you can feel their energy...
Right, that makes sense. Not all of them, but most of them.
But if you could...
And then you roll to see if you manifest the power.
What do you normally have to roll in order to do that?
Good question. It depends. Each power has a different warp charge that it needs that you roll. So you're rolling 2d6. Most of them are easy. The warp charge is between 5 and 7. Okay. So on 2 dice, it's pretty easy to get.
Oh, you're rolling 2 dice. I got it. Got it.
2d6 to get those. But if you roll double 1s or double 12s or
they blow up.
Double 1s or double 6s, your psychic power actually tears open a hole into the warp and you potentially blow up. So it does damage to the Psyker. And if it kills him...
How do you know it kills him? If
that's your wound. Yeah. Then it blows up in a radius and hurts other units too.
Oh no, babies.
It's pretty great.
So you kind of want to isolate them as well. If you could.
Yeah, ideally.
Remind me of the orders of the phases. Movement.
Yeah, so first is, now it's command, movement, psychic, shooting.
So in theory, like, you know how if you were to, like, charge,
yes,
you can't shoot, unless you have a gun that mitigates that.
Right, well, yeah, you can't,
You can't advance,
right.
yeah. Could you advance with these, but then still do the psychic phase?
Yes, because it works a little bit differently.
Okay, and thanks, guys. We are hydrating so much. I'm kidding. I'm just being saucy.
It's the only thing that they can redeem points for. I haven't added... I don't know what else to add.
You're so awesome. Okay, do me a favor. Go assess the temperature of the pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Would you eat a piece right now?
I'm not quite ready for pumpkin pie.
Okay. Well then...
Do you want some?
No, I've had a pumpkin pie already today.
An entire pie?
No.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yes. And sometimes special things happen if you roll high on your roll.
Thank you for the redemptions.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. It's the only thing that I have.
No, there's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just overreacting because I'm performing.
I spend a lot of time making the little symbol, the little gobbet symbol.
You made it?
Well, I mean... You
designed it?
Sort of. I took something, but then I altered it and I recolored it.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's a good symbol. It's a gobbet.
It looks like
piece of meat.
Looks like.
Yeah. Because it's Norse meat, so it was... I thought it was fitting.
People are eating your meat.
You said it. So every faction that has Psyker abilities has a set of psychic powers that they choose from. And they're different.
Okay.
So for instance, the Space Marines have a whole set of powers, and then specific chapters have their own specific set of powers.
Okay.
The Phobos Primaris Marines they have their own special set of powers. Space Wolves have their set of powers. Like but it's mostly flavor. Like a lot of the powers, if you look, they actually do the same thing.
I see, but it's like how you title things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just to give it more uniqueness.
And side question, how much would you say you know about every army?
It varies greatly.
Got it.
I know a lot about the armies that I play,
yes,
and then lesser about other ones.
Yeah, okay.
In order of how much I care about them, or how much we've done them on Grimdark Dawn.
Yeah.
Frankly. So Black Templars are arguably the only Space Marine chapter who does not employ Psykers. They hate them. They do not trust them in any way, shape, or form. That was a joke.
Really
it was a good
funny.
One. I liked it.
Okay.
I thought it was
great. If you're gonna have a joke, make sure you have enough for the whole classroom.
Your army cannot perform the same psychic power more than once in a turn, even if multiple Psykers know it, except for Smite. You can. Everybody can smite. Yeah, everybody can smite. But it does become harder each time you use it in a turn.
What's that Space Marine tank box?
That one?
That's cool. Why didn't you bring it? We were talking about it.
I forget it.
It's perfect. Thank you, Emily. You get me. That's like what we've been talking about the whole time.
It's this.
It's this.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain what it is, because it is
shiny thing.
It's special. So this is a Space Marine Rhino, and you're supposed to... Can you hold that? You're supposed to believe that you could fit a whole bunch of these dudes in there. Like 12 of these guys. Driver, whatever. And also, Space Marines are not true scale. Like, this guy, to be a real...
He's a little big.
No, he's too small.
What?
To be in scale with humans at this scale, it's a whole thing. So anyway, when the... Oh, I don't have any with me. In Japan, the Space Marine Heroes, the first set, came out a few years ago. They were special Space Marine models you could only get in Japan for the first little bit. They were blind boxed. They came in this box. This awesome Rhino display.
That is very cool.
It's super cool.
Especially because they're just leaning in.
Yeah, and then it has the ad on the back. But so this is a Rhino. Interesting.
So these are like wax presses with like their doctrine or something.
Yes. So yeah, but it's super neat. It's super cute. And then so some people were saying like you should just use this on the battlefield. It's like, well, it's a little bit too big.
Too big, but you could fit the guys in there.
Yes. So yeah, we should have talked about that.
So what happens when one of them Fs?
Well, they have no desire to, and we don't know if they can.
You're saying it's not like Sparta, where they're like, "Hey, guy, what's up, guy?"
Oh no. I mean, canonically, at least, no. There are stories that you can find on the internet.
You know there are.
That have other takes on the subject, but according to everything that we have,
I've learned about erping, apparently erotic role playing.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Erp.
I feel like they could have done better with that one.
Yeah.
Srepping, sex art.
Yeah, you could use this for other.
It's
vehicles.
pretty cool.
Mine's a little dusty.
Well, then, yeah, it's ERP. I learned, so the only reason I learned this is I was playing Deep Rock Galactic, and this guy, Dragnelian, came in he was just playing it, so he was asking a couple things, and one of the girls that I play with also does WoW, and she was talking about her role play group. Everyone, I was curious about how people do that. Like, sometimes the kids when I play Fortnite with, they're like, okay, we're going to role play. And I was like, no, I don't want to. But like they want.
That could mean a lot of different things.
And no, it doesn't with children, because what they really mean is like, I'm going to be Thor. No, I'm going to be Tony Stark, and I just don't have the time for it. I just want to fight. That's it. But this guy comes into the chat. It's like, you know, people do it with the dwarves too. But like, there's like, and then erping came up. It's a lot.
Because all the dwarves are dudes in that game, right?
The assumption is that, yes.
Well, right. That's true. We don't know. There might not be sexual dimorphism. They might male and female might look the same, right? Potentially.
They anthropomorphize their robots to be feminine, which says a lot.
Sure.
Dwarves can, if they are female, have beards. And to your point, and the main like guy that controls them, or like the head of the guy, is like he refers to them as boys, which again could just be a coverall.
Sure.
Nothing is explicitly.
There are no genitals. We don't see.
We don't know what their genitals are, and their body shape is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Or if they even have.
Like orcs. Or Space Marines. We don't know.
Does orcs not have body parts?
They're fungus.
Why would they need them?
Why would they need it? Now, what orcs tend to do with body parts that they want that they don't have is they take other things and they stick them on. Like, orcs don't have any hair, but you'll often see...
Like mohawks or something on the guys?
Yeah, and what that is they take a squig that has hair and they just stick it... A squig is like, it's like a universal little squishy creature that can kind of take on just about any form.
Oh my god!
And they use them for all different things. Yeah, they have hair squigs and they just stick them on their head. And
so how did they not know this?
Maybe they have squig.
Like, look at this big squig.
Right. I mean, maybe they have squigs specifically for that.
I hate it.
It's possible.
I love it. Oh, that's smart, Jovexani. Like, you could make guys who are like, look at my third eye.
Yeah.
Look at, I have 7 fingers.
The possibilities are endless.
I can't wait. It's opening a whole new world.
Yeah.
Look, I only have 4. I gave my friend a finger.
So we're all, there are lots of different squigs that, check out. Yes. Ooh, do we all have genes for 6 fingers?
That's I believe
cool. Sometimes I think about what it would feel like to have another finger.
I think about the film Gattaca, where they go to see the musician and he has 6 fingers on each hand.
I've never watched that movie. I've heard a lot of good things about that movie, but I've never actually watched it. Yeah, I know some. Yeah, some. It's not the rarest thing in the world for babies to be born with 6 fingers.
No.
Yeah, it happens, but then they just.
Well, they also were suggesting that this is going to become obsolete.
But I love my pinky.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter to us.
Doesn't it?
Not us, because it'll be gone way after us.
Oh, I see. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But okay.
Pinky's great. So great.
There's so much you can do with your pinky. So there. Mutants. We were talking about mutants. So it all goes together.
See, my tensions are... No, I didn't fire up a dirty joke. I can't handle what we're talking about at the moment. When I get tired, which is, again, not Scott's fault. I just was up early.
That's okay.
I'm not a good partner. But I get sent, like, I get, like, stimulated.
Punchy.
Oh, me? Am I being punchy?
No, I don't know. I'm just...
Am I being punchy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, your pinky finger is...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it all depends on how we use it. It was just... I just remember at one point they were hypothesizing that this would go away. Who knows? Especially since we're going to be, like, Wall-E humans that just look at computers.
Yeah,
what, like...
Well, that... So we need to invent... Because can't you fight that kind of evolution? Making something vestigial? Like, if we made more things in our society that used those fingers,
so if you
then
think about
it
it, like our typing,
reintroduce, then you would then it would make it so that people with stronger pinkies were more valuable in society. And I know evolution doesn't exactly work that way, but like you could.
It does.
Shift
think about it. They do
the
it with
way...
dogs.
Well, yeah, that's true, but that's also not exactly evolution, but.
But it is forced evolution.
Yeah. I mean, that's what breeding
in a
is.
way, you're talking about, like, again, if pinky was important to us enough, and we're like, we don't want to lose it. Because in a weird way, if we continue at this rate with computers, let's say, right?
Yes.
We'll start breeding people who don't need the same muscle mass. It's possible.
It is. Yeah.
And we'll develop bodies
Selective
that
breeding,
favor like sedentary and like being sitting for a while. It's possible.
Yeah. Yeah, if you had better blood circulation when sitting, that would be helpful.
Because people
and
throw
you'd
blood
live longer.
clots.
Yeah.
And you probably die. Like, so you're not reproducing.
Yeah.
Wait, since the mortality rate is so low now, do we still need to evolve to survive? I think it's an ever...
Arguably, yeah. I don't know.
I think it's an ever-evolving situation. Because try telling your cells that there isn't something going on that you need to survive.
True, right. Your body, Your body interprets stress as something that needs to be overcome to live.
And there's going to be a lot of people with hunkers because they get nose jobs. And then you make babies with those hunkers and they don't know. That's what happens.
Okay, sure.
I'm just saying, there's nothing bad or good about it. But people are breeding with what they think is what they want, and then create babies. So it's like weird selective breeding.
That's true. Yeah,
it's the whole thing.
Right, because it's like an animal who can make itself look different for attracting a mate, but has
but that's still an inherent ability as opposed to physically changing oneself. True. And that's still a likable quality, right? That's still like a wantable quality. So like there's, you know how I talk often about chemistry, or like I made out with a guy and he tastes like cottage cheese, not cottage cheese, but like coleslaw. I was like, Jesus Christ! And like you get attracted to somebody and like, oh, actually our chemistry's totally off. There's people who halfway through their marriage, when the guy starts wearing fucking cologne, they're like, oh, I hate how he smells.
Sure. So
there's a whole masking thing that happens. To heck with... Yeah.
Yeah, who needs to stand?
The pandemic has taught us a lot. I'm sure I have a negative number. Okay, what more? So we didn't cover the Psykers perfectly, did we?
No. Well, the only other thing that we should talk about is Zardoz asked, what happens when two Psykers fight? So in the game, there's a cool ability called Deny the Witch. I deny you, witch. Which really is only a thing that somebody in the Imperium would say, but everybody has the ability
to do this.
So if two Psykers are within 24 inches of each other, and one of them attempts to manifest a power, the other one can try to turn it off.
Before.
Say, no.
Okay.
Don't do that power.
Whoa.
So remember, you roll 2d6. So if this one rolls 2d6 and gets whatever it needs to manifest the power, this one can attempt to deny it. He or she, it, whatever, also rolls 2d6. If that roll is higher, it cancels out that power.
What if it's equal to?
Then you're stuck.
Okay.
And you can only attempt to deny once per turn. Again, your data sheet will tell you, can this Psyker deny? If so, how many times, and so on and so forth. Or I think it's just once. I think you can only deny once per phase. But yeah, so that's a interesting ability. There is.
Well, it's good because you have like all sorts of different counter steps with other stuff. Not all the time, but
right, not all the time, but yeah, frequently. And yes, this was actually a thing that was
added.
A lot of that's been around for a while, and people were disappointed last year. So Games Workshop came out with a series of additional rule books that were all around psychic things happening. Well, there were a bunch of stuff happening, but specifically psychic things happening. And it was revealed that Tau were going to have some new rules in one of these books. So people thought, oh, well, we're probably not going to get an actual Tau psychic because of those that have never been a thing. But maybe we'll get access to some sort of technology or relic that could at least maybe let us have a Deny the Witch ability. Which would have been cool, and they didn't get that. So maybe one day.
Yeah, I feel like it's only fair. Did you color this one?
No, I got that one with this one. It was just somebody painted up a bunch of. Oh no, I'm sorry. This was somebody else I got this from. For some reason, a couple people I know painted these Terminator Librarians and then gave them away.
Great.
Didn't want them anymore.
Cool.
Interesting. If you find these things interesting, so Space Marines can be any color that you want. The chapters. Traditionally, Librarians have blue armor, and just their shoulder pad is painted in the color of their faction. Yeah. Traditionally, but it's not always the case.
So why are they called Librarians? You can always counter Psykers with bullets.
Yeah, that's true. Just for silly reasons. It's the section of the Legion originally, or the chapter that handles psychic powers, is the Librarius. So the people in there are librarians. And there are different ranks. Librarian is technically a rank within the Librarius. They're codicers and other silly things. Yeah, that's true. Dreadlord Herc says they keep the history of the chapter. Yeah, they do some other things other than just use their brains. But that's mainly it. And then, yeah, so there are some factions will have, most of the factions have some like key powers that are like, oh, that's really fitting for that faction. Notably among the orcs, really I don't know why they gave the orcs so many powers, because there's really only one that you ever use, and that is the jump that John mentioned earlier. And it's an amazing power, because it lets you, the weird boy, way in the back of the field, you cast the jump on boys, essentially, as big a blob of boys as you can have, so 30 at the maximum. You take them off the board, you put them down wherever you want within, the usual rules, so you can pick them up.
How would you never let me play with this?
Well, I don't have a weird boy model.
Someone needs to give me a weird boy model. You should never play orcs without that.
Without it. So there are limitations. Number one, that the casting could fail.
I understand.
Although, as John said, the orcs also have an additional ability where your warp charge is based on a whole different scale. It works easier, essentially, the more people are around you.
I blame you.
But after you cast it, then the weird boy is relatively useless. And then those boys are really good for like one thing, because they're essentially like, look, it's fun. I had Benjamin played it once with me, and it actually worked out really well. His squad of boys tied up, and after a couple turns, managed to take down a Mauler Fiend. And it prevented that Mauler Fiend from eating the rest of his army. And it was pretty cool.
The Ork Boss Queen Boy, best boy girl.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways to protect your thing. But,
So
I don't have them. We proxied another model for it. Which you can do. That's a thing.
Can I see a picture of one, please?
Of a weird boy? The weird boy? It's not a great model. And you can tell that it's old. It's an oldie and not necessarily a goodie. Why does it think I'm in freaking Sweden?
Finland.
Is that Sweden? I don't know. Finland. Not the US. So it's $22 for this thing. Is it metal? Oh, it's resin. Ugh.
Oh. Weird. Don't worry about it.
Hate web P. So yeah. Kind of like a bell. It's kind of goofy.
It is.
They need a new one.
I'll just make one.
Or yeah, you can just make something else.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make my own weird boy. Maybe it's a weird girl.
Sure. It can be weird, whatever you want. So yeah, in Age of Sigmar, there are some other things that you could just do something with that. That's kind of cool. I mean, the painting on that is what really sells it. The weird knob shaman. We can fight about it. It's either way. Anyway. So yeah, the orcs have to jump. The Death Guard have a bunch of really gross, annoying abilities. They can heal themselves. They can summon a swarm of flies to make it harder to shoot them. They can spray bile on their enemies. It's gross.
Kind of like Alien.
Yeah. Space Marines have a bunch of things. They can help each other. They can hide. They can attack.
I got a really great joke for you. So Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi are in a restaurant and they're eating with chopsticks.
Okay.
Spotting this, one of his friends was struggling with the cutlery. Obi-Wan said, "Use the forks, Luke."
I like it.
I made that up right now.
You just made that up. That's great. Thank you, Darrow. Always a pleasure. And I forgot, there's another faction that will not use Psykers. So in addition to... Oh, thanks for hanging out, Emily. See you next time.
See you tonight, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we should talk about that. So also, followers of Khorne also hate
Qorn.
Khorn. It's fine. It's all good. They also do not like the psychics. Especially the Chaos Space Marines. They eat them. 1,000 Suns have a bunch of BS psychic powers. Khorne. All the different.
My mom made good corn casserole.
She really did, yeah.
It's good shit.
Yeah. So Space Marines have some really cool powers that are really specific to the enemies that they often fight. One of the best ones is a thing called Null Zone, Null. And traditionally when you fight demons can be really annoying because of their invulnerable saves. So you can have like laser cannons that cut through anything, but that doesn't matter to an invulnerable save. You still get to use that. So Null Zone shuts off invulnerable saves within a radius. So
but
ideally,
you can only use one of those. Yeah.
So you got to get your Psyker up into battle
and assume that they're in a close enough range to actually do that.
Yep. And then you have to have everything else prepared then to
because you can't do it the next round if you use it this round.
Well, the next round you could, yeah, but then obviously then your enemy gets a turn and
Oh, I thought you said it was like spell slots. Like, you can only use one at a time. So then
one per turn.
Okay.
So you can use the same one the next
multiple?
turn. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, ideally, like if you're fighting, you know, a big demon guy or a demon Primarch, you want to get everybody ready, move them all into place, null zone, so it gets rid of their invulnerable save, and then have everybody attack.
Great.
Which I almost did on a Grimdark Dawn game, fighting against Naeem and the jerks that he brought, but it failed.
So,
I failed my null zone.
who would you... What's the best army?
What is happening? The best army? Mm-hmm. Ooh, what do you mean by best?
Most likely against any other army is going to win.
That's a tough question because it all depends. There's so many different styles of play now, and different levels of different and skill levels will have different success. So I don't know that there's really one answer to that. Okay. Yeah. Which is something good for the game, that there's not like one army that always wins.
Well,
there are definitely tiers, and yes, the Custodes are definitely they're high tier.
What are the Custodes?
They're usually in gold. They kind of look like Space Marines, but they're even bigger. That's what Rabid Wombat does and paints. Okay. And the Emperor's personal jerks. We talked a little bit about them last time. While Space Marines are crafted on a large scale, so all Space Marines are kind of the same, the Emperor actually designed the DNA to alter each one individual.
The 20, right? That went off?
Those are the Primars. But these are like the Emperor's personal guards.
Oh, got it.
And yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of armies are potentially good. It just depends on
how you play them.
How you play them, what kind of models
against.
you use. Yeah.
So I have another joke.
Okay.
How did Reese eat her ice cream?
In a cone?
With her spoon.
Ah. Of course.
Really clever, right?
It is. You must have a good team of writers.
It's all in my brain.
It's all in you. Mm-hmm. And that's true, Zardoz. Play the mission, not your opponent. Because now, especially now in 9th edition, when you play, there's specific mission rules for how you score points. And oftentimes, you can completely ignore what your enemy's doing. Don't even try to fight your enemy. Just get the points. And you can win
it's like if you're within this and you land in that.
And
okay.
if you do this, if you move here.
But that's not traditional gameplay, right?
It depends on... It has changed, and in the new system.
Sorry, I can't read your chat unless you highlight it. So
promotion. You're no longer a writer. You're head writer.
I don't know what you mean.
Just saying. Yeah. So now, when you play a mission, there are mission parameters to score points. So yeah, typically there are locations where you need to be in order to score points. But then there's also a list of secondary objectives, and you pick which ones you want to do. So if your army is really fast, you can pick objectives that involve getting to the other side of the board and circling over here. If they're not, if you're fighting against, say you're fighting against knights that have like just 3 giant robots, you can pick objectives that specify taking down large units. So you can score points in different ways and really
specifically
customize toward the mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is super cool and not something that we've played around very much with yet.
I see that.
Yeah.
What are we doing tonight?
Tonight? I don't know my locating.
The Lysistrata.
Lysistrata, however you want to pronounce it, it's fine. Don't get hung up on those things. Tonight we are performing another ancient comedy in this case. We are going to have parental warnings. I don't know if you've taken a look at the text.
If I remember it well, when the men are at their most...
Frustrated.
Sure. Denied?
Sure.
They are walking around with actual...
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, so we are performing the Lysistrata tonight. very excited. It's it's by Aristophanes. It's a ancient Greek comedy. It's very funny. It's very silly. It is very risque. It is almost the entire thing is all about sex and genitals and lots of jokes about those things. So yeah, if you'd like to see the Homebuddies
talk about penises and vajayjays
and lots of other things, tune in tonight. It'll be right here on this channel, 7 p.m. Pacific. We got the whole crew, and I've divided up the parts. We will not have actual phalluses on our costumes, just because it's hard to fit. Yeah, TOS, hard to fit them on screen, considering how big they actually would have been on the performers. If you Google it, you'll see some modern productions where they really went all out appropriately, and it looks fantastic.
Interesting.
Yeah, this play has been adapted many times in other forms for other stories, but yes, we are doing the original. Yeah, Google it. Go see what you can find.
I can't wait.
It should be fun.
No, it's gonna be great. We can't wait to play this Estrada. Why are you laughing?
We all have our parts to play. We're not saying who's playing.
There are no small parts. There's only short actors.
Is that how it goes? Yes. Is that the... Okay.
Yes. There's only small actors.
No small parts, just small actors. Okay. I like that. We can use that.
You'll bring your dad jokes? You mean my dad jokes?
Oh, here. I can...
Listen, if someone's playing a tree in a play, there's a reason.
Yes. And you can... I would imagine there's a range of how well you could play a tree, right? Can you play a tree? You can. I
was once cast as Cerebus, the three-headed dog.
Okay.
Because I was so good at that audition. Because no one else did it the way I did, and I was like, and then I quit.
There you go. You quit
because I was about to. I didn't get the roles. One of my last summers there, and I wanted the Scarecrow, and they just I got cast in things because I gave it my all in everything.
Yeah.
And I also got Tweedledee, the lesser of the two. But
dumb is the better. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
But because we freaking killed it in that audition. I'm more of a leading actor.
Okay.
Or at least I was.
Sure.
But I had my fair share of strife. Okay. Work hard for it. Not everything was handed to me.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay, I believe you.
I got most of my leading roles as default. Oh god, this girl didn't want that role. Here you go. It's happened a couple times.
However you get it. However you get it, get it.
You don't have a command for me?
I guess not. I don't know. What would your command be? It would just say where to find you? Darrow's on it. Rabid Wombat did a great job was part of an epic charity stream a couple weeks ago. He did a cooking segment with his mom, his assistant, I should say, and it was hilarious. It was great. My kids loved it. They were watching. They weren't watching.
That's very cute. No, they can watch it with you, can't they?
Well,
no, not technically. If it's 4 p.m., it'll be in 3 hours. Muche.
What?
He asked what time is the stream.
But what did you say about 4?
If it's 4 o'clock right now,
the
show will be in 3 hours. Because I don't know where Muche is.
I understand what you're saying. Thank you. I misunderstood.
7 p.m. PT.
7 p.m. Pacific time. Yes. So yes, be here. 7 o'clock.
Am I punchy? Or salt? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Everybody gets that way at times.
I'm just playful, but it doesn't come off playful.
It might be just what we need.
Maybe. I'm going to take a nap though before tonight.
That's good.
Because
that's smart.
I need to read.
What are you reading? Oh, tonight you need to read. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe you have other things to work on.
No, I have to perform for you.
Fair. It's not for me. It's for them.
No,
it's
but
for
I want
you.
to be there and available. And I'm regretful of my current state.
No, that's fine. You have a lot of parts. We all have a lot of parts. So it's a lot to keep track of.
Every world's a stage.
The world is a stage. Yes. Okay. We will not be here next week. We're taking there will be a week off of the War Room, but the following week we will be here and we will be mixing our perfect pink paint.
Yes.
So we will actually be painting like the real thing, and it should be awesome.
Hi, Taladera.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because that pink was super exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited.
And I think I want to paint some orcs while you do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to do that.
Great.
I'll bring my painting stuff. I'll bring my paints again so I can mix, like, I never really loved the greens that are the option for them.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean they're awful.
Have you done I don't know if you've done the contrast green?
I don't believe
like the one coat. Okay. I like it, but it might not be the exact color you like for yours.
Oh, that's still a very nice compliment. Perfect pink paint power Parmer.
Yes.
Painting
Straight.
frame.
Frame.
Thanks for being my friend despite my flaws. And you're welcome that I'm your friend despite your flaws.
Thank you.
Which are few. Mostly topical.
like I could
You could fix your glasses.
Like a cream for it. Oh, there we go. Well, we'll get there.
It's okay. I think all these people know who I am.
I think they know who you are.
Sadly.
By now. Yes. So tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here. You could just leave the window open, but I am going offline now.
You could. Just like people are doing that now.
That's
right?
true. Yeah, but no, I got to move stuff around.
No, but could you imagine just leaving him there? That'd
Galactus.
be so funny.
Every once in a while, I'll come in and just press the button. Could we? How many viewers could we get on the Galactus stream?
Honestly, you'd probably get way more than you expected.
Get all the raids and everything.
Truly,
that's funny. Maybe one day, not today.
Well, I do, contrary to my behavior, enjoy these streams with you.
Good. Thank you.
See, I'm apologizing ahead of anything you need to tell me. Like, oh, Jessica, you were really tired, or you were. So I'm like off. I'm saying it now, so you can't make me feel bad later.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, hey, not Jessica, exactly. But...
don't you can't admonish me later because I've apologized ahead of it already.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
no,
you know how people go, oh my god, I'm so fat, so you don't call me fat. Like, you know, like this. Like,
yeah,
protection.
but isn't it them asking to be told they're not fat? Like you
depending.
Say, okay.
Some people will make fun of themselves first, so the other person doesn't do it.
Okay.
Sometimes when I talk about how fat I am, I want someone to tell me I'm not fat.
Sure.
Usually.
Right. Okay.
Validate me. But right now,
it's the other.
I'm going to tell you all the things I did wrong, so you can't tell me what I did wrong later. Because I already told you I know.
That's assuming that you could do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Got it. Oh, he can't really hold this so well.
Aridance, you are just too nice. No, I'm honest about my behaviors. That's all.
Yes. Okay.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
This is fun.
And
I'm so glad to learn about Galactus ahead of Monday. That's exciting.
I got a little bit of everything.
You sure do. I hate that horse one. I want his body is dope. And then he's got the teeth. I hate it.
Beta Ray Bill, that's one of my favorite characters of all time.
That's the ugliest face of all time.
But that's part of the point. No, it's true. So he was created by Walt Simonson for the old Thor comic books around 330, something like that. And the idea was, so you would first see him on the cover, and it was like this horrific looking alien dressed like Thor, and you'd be like, what the hell is going on? But then you find out in the story that he's like the most noble character in existence. And he has to deal with the fact that he gave up his original body to become this horrible looking cyborg to protect his people. And he's one of the first people who was worthy enough to use Mjolnir. And that's how he got to be. I could talk a lot about it.
I feel a little bit better.
Okay, and there's a whole bunch.
He's ugly. He's so ugly.
But honestly, that's part of the point, though. He's supposed to be ugly.
I want my heroes
Beta Ray Bill.
I want my men
hot. All right.
I can't always get what I want.
Not always. Do you see the jokes? The jokes about
Sarah Jessica Parker.
I'm a big fan of Beta Ray Bill.
I know. I'm super superficial. Beta Ray. I am. Yeah.
Not so much. No, it's face shaming.
It's face
she likes the body. He's got a great body. I mean, he's all arms.
I wouldn't want it.
But
I couldn't get down with that guy. He'd be a jerk in the gym.
Well, it's all natural. It's all natural, baby. He doesn't have to go to the gym.
Eriditska's right. If you leave him in the sun for a while, he'll get hotter.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited to learn more about him then.
All right. We can do a whole stream on Beta Ray Bill.
Saturday morning cartoons.
That'd be cool. He's been in a couple cartoons, a couple Marvel cartoons.
Ruiner, you couldn't pay me. That is not anything that I want anywhere near my Lysistrata.
Well, and technically, he's been in the MCU. Do you remember? Do you know? Did you catch this?
Glimpse of
2
him?
seconds.
Was he in the fort? Was he on the front line?
No. So in Thor Ragnarok, there's a spire that's outside the gladiatorial arena.
Okay.
And there are like heads of the previous champions, and there's a Beta Ray Bill head.
Oh, that's cool. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
But it's a bummer because that probably means we'll never actually have him in the movies.
Because you can't cast Hemsworth in that role.
Well, it's a different character, but
no, you know what I mean. You can't cast Chris.
Oh, I see. There are other Chris's out there. We can find some more Chris's.
Rock?
Well, Chris Pine hasn't been in the MCU yet.
Yes, he has.
Chris Pine?
Yeah, he's the one of the Spider-Verse voices. It's not the MCU, right. But they have used his voice.
Christopher Walken. There you go.
I was holding
I wish I had him.
the hammer, and
I just have little ones over here, which aren't easy to get. Oh, I have a silly little Galactus. Oh, it's gonna. No, I can't get that out right now. Just careful. That one's.
Oh, poor guy. What a poor face. I hate it. Why? The teeth are pronounced.
Sure. Yeah,
they're outside of his face.
They built him the cyborg body that's partly based on some predator that was on his planet. Package delivery. Just maybe that's our pants. He is a good man.
Thank you, Ro. Just calling it like I sees him.
That's fine. Again, that's part of.
He just disturbs me. But now that I know he's a good person,
he's the best person.
Great.
Honestly, he's got a sentient spaceship for a best friend.
Then that's really sad.
They kind of have an almost. They've got an interesting relationship. It's so good.
I'm not worthy for the hammer. No way.
You're worthy for a hammer. We just have to figure out which one it is.
Oh my god, it's so true. The hammering. That's true. You're right, Ro.
Okay.
There's a lot of hammers.
That's true. Yeah, we could talk about that too.
Okay,